side split stretch, and realistically, it's going to be 60 minutes. We're doing this every single day to practice number one, quality, consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make sure we suffer together and have a little bit of fun while we do it. All right? We're doing an hour of side splits and hip mobility work, and we do this every single day starting at 9 p.m. It is 9 p.m. Eastern for me, and we started about 1 minute ago. So if you're just hopping in, this is the regular start time. Cool? Hit all the buttons, follow, subscribe, keep coming back, set reminders, clocks, whatever. I think I'm done rambling. Let's get into our warm up. We're going to start with some hip cars. All right. I want you to stand up nice and straight. Keep that core nice and strong and tight. And begin by lifting your knee up as high as you can, directly up. All right. From here, we're going to open up that leg to the side. Whew. Try to keep that knee as high as you can while keeping it open. Whew. Some of your muscles will be cramping just a little bit. And then we're going to rotate. I want you to bring the ankle up and rotate the knee down. All right. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this, horizontal. From the front, your ankle is hidden by the knee. We're going to keep rotating. We're going to keep on bringing the knee down, lifting the ankle up, rotate, 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 rotate. Then we're going to bring the leg down and back. We're going to rotate it all the way back behind us. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. All right. Our hamstrings are flexed, our glutes are flexed. We're feeling a little bit of stretch here in the front of the hip. That is one rep. We're doing 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. And I think there's nothing left to say, so let's begin. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. Remember, these are all about using your muscles to lift your leg as high as you can so that you get maximum range of motion in that hip. I think that's five. Open. Ankle up, down and back, so you're building strength and mobility at the same time. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. I think that's six, maybe. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. Whew. That is hip cars going on one leg. We're going to go ahead and start the other one. All right. Let's go. Keep that core nice and tight and high knee. Open. Ankle up some more. Down and back. That's one. If you are feeling off balance, feel free to hold on to something, grab something for a little bit of support. Whew, that's two. High knee. Open. One of the reasons you might be throwing yourself a little bit off balance is if you're using too much force, too much momentum, right? If you just throw your knee up way high, you might start popping forward. If you open up your leg real fast, real wide, you might start spinning around, and that's going to make it much harder to balance, right? So try to slow it down a little bit with a little bit more control, and let's continue. I have no idea how many of these are done. I'm going to pretend that was two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Lift as high as you can. Open as wide as you can. Rotate that knee down, 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 down. Ankle up, 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 up. Bring the leg down and back. Whew. Lift, 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 lift. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Oof. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. Make it count. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Whew. Oh, man. That is 10 hip curls. We've done 10 on each side going forward, each side being your left hip and your right hip. Now we're going to go in reverse. I think I saw briefly messages from Che and Chevelle. Hello, hello, welcome back. And Rina is back saying hi. Hello. All right. Let's go backwards. When we go backwards, we're going to start by bringing this leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes for the stretch right here in the front of the hip. We're going to lift that leg up to the side. So we get back to that horizontal position. We're going to bring the knee down, lift the ankle up, bring the ankle down, lift the knee up, and we're going to bring the knee forward to finish. All right? I'm going to face you so it's easier to mirror me. And I think that's it. Let's go. Let's begin. All your weight in one leg. Keep that core nice and strong. Back. Side. Really contract those muscles. Rotate. Rotate some more. Knee. If you want, you can start bringing your knee a little bit further that way. Get a little bit more of a stretch here. And continue back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Just make sure not to kick yourself if you're really bringing your leg across, all right? Don't hit yourself. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Back. Travel with Roxy, I think. Just said hello, 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 hello. Ankle down. Knee. That's 5. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 6. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle up. Oof. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Keep going. Back. Remember, we're trying our best to lift our legs into the deepest possible range of motion that we can hit. I think that's 8, maybe 7. Side. Ankle up. Oof. Ankle down. Keep breathing and hold your breath. Knee has a 9. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Oh my gosh. All right. One last leg. Breathe. Chill. Let your legs flop around a little bit. Shaky, 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 shaky. Let them get loose. And I think it's time. Let's do this. Final hip car. Let's begin. Stand up straight. Core tight. Back. Side. Ankle up. Oof. Ankle down. Knee. That's 1. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 4. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. I think that's 6. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 7. Back. Side. Ankle up. Oof, my hamstrings are cramping. Knee. That's 8. 2 more. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 9. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Woo! We're done with the first warm-up exercise, and that means it's time to move on to warm-up exercise number 2. What we're going to focus on is folding at the hips so that your belly button is coming down to the ground. Take a nice big breath in and fold. Woo! If your back is a little bit rounded because you're relaxing, that's okay. If your back is rounded because you're trying to smash your face into the ground, you're working too hard. Chill. All right, breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Let your body flop on over. Try to relax some tension in the low back, especially if you've been sitting up all day trying to do some computer work. Chill. All right. Next, we're going to add some movement. What I want you to do is bend one knee, straighten out the other leg, fold the belly button down, and get into something that looks like this. If you're newer to the stretch, newer to the exercise, and you're a little bit higher up, that's totally okay. Don't worry about it. Just try your best to bring your belly button down towards the ground. Cool? All right. Get nice and comfortably wide with your legs so that your hips are not uncomfortable. And switch. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. You're always folding forward. Switch. Straight, bent, folded forward. Keep going for a while. Keep on feeling that hamstring stretch. It should feel a little bit different in each leg because one is bent and one is straight. But there should be a little bit of a sensation in each. And while we're doing this, I'm going to tell you about the rest of the show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m., which means we probably start about 10, 11 minutes ago. And we do this every single day to practice the number one most important quality, consistency. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow the plan, it's not the best plan for you. All right? So we're here every day practicing consistency, working on some side splits, working on some hip mobility. This is currently the second warm-up exercise, so if you're hearing this message right now, you're at the very beginning. You didn't miss anything just yet. Hop on in. We're bending one knee, we're straightening the other, we're folding the belly button down, we're switching back and forth, trying to loose up our hamstrings. Get practice folding forward so that we can crush the rest of the show. All right. If you like side splits, if you like mobility, if you like the idea of somebody practicing consistency with you, a whole community of people practicing consistency with you, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and maybe schedule an alarm at the same time. Cool? Actually, maybe do that afterwards because you should be doing this thing right now. All right. Now that you know what the show is about, let's move on. We're going to go a little bit deeper now. All right. Your hamstrings should be warmed up. I want you to really bring your belly button down a little bit deeper. Keep folding. Keep going a little bit deeper. And squeeze. Get low. 5. More. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. All right. Pop into a little bit of a squat. Come on up into standing. That is our second warm up exercise. It is the Cossack. Sorry. What am I talking about? It is the elephant walk. Whew. We're going to move on into our third warm up exercise. It's called some thoracic rotation. The thoracic spine, the T-spine, as it's often called, is basically this chunk of your spine, below your neck, sort of about where your belly button is. It's designed to move really well, bend from side to side, rotate, and of course, slouch. What we're going to do now is focus on that rotation a little bit. We're going to do it from the position we were just in, where our legs are not crazy wide, but decently wide. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. The arm from the bent leg side is going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push off that shin and we're going to help rotate. All right. I want you to stick your other hand up into the air. I want you to rotate your neck to look at that hand. I want you to inhale, exhale, and reach over your shoulder. Exhale. Whew. That is half a rep. We got to do the other side. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. Arm from the bent leg side is reaching across the body to the straight leg. We're pushing off that shin bone. We're rotating. We're looking at the hand. Inhale, exhale, and reach. As you exhale, try to reach a little further and a little further and a little further. And that is 1 rep. We're doing 5 of these in total. Let's continue. Knee bent, knee straight. Arm from the bent side to the straight side. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale, exhale. Reach. That's 2. And other side. 2 is done. Let's go. 3. Inhale, exhale. Reach. If it ever feels like I'm going a little too fast for you, feel free to slow it down and go at your own pace. All right? I spend a lot of time talking, explaining stuff, and you can spend a lot of the time I'm talking catching up if you need to. All right? Otherwise, if you're going real fast and you're like, man, Ken talks too much, you can do extra reps, right? If you're a regular, you know how the show is going to go, you know all the pieces, feel free to do a couple extra. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 5. And inhale, exhale, reach. That is 5 again. Whew. Hopefully, you're not super tired. Your shoulders, your delts muscles might be a little tired because you don't spend much of your life doing this behind you. But don't worry about it because we don't need those muscles for much for the rest of the show. All right. So in a couple minutes, they'll relax, they'll chill out, and everything will be fine. We're gonna move on into our fourth and final warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. All right. What I want you to do will look a little like this. I'm gonna demonstrate real quick. You don't have to do this. You're still doing thoracic rotation. Keep doing that. If you want to just shake out your butt, relax, that's fine. Cossack switch just look like this. We're gonna drop into a deep squat on one side to the best of our ability. You might be here, you might be here, you might be here, you might be here. The goal is to get low. All right, but you can be wherever you want. Next, this leg over here is going to be extended out to the side, like we're doing kind of a side split. All right, we're going to scoot our butts over to the other side, boom, and then we're going to pause here, we're going to sink a little deeper, and then boom, we're going to come back. That is 1 rep, once to the left and once back. For most of us, our ankles, our knees, our hips are not going to be ready for all that intensity, so let's warm up, 4-hour warm up with some slow and deep squatting. Come on down. If you are in a situation where your heels are coming up and you can't sit back all the way, that's absolutely okay. In fact, you'll feel a more intense Achilles tendon and calf stretch if your heels are a little bit up. So it's all good. All right. From here, I want you to bring your chest down to your thighs like you're about to do a cannonball. Grab your knees, pull yourself in, and go cannonball. And you don't have to shout cannonball. I Do it for my own entertainment and yours. From here, we're just gonna chill. We're gonna breathe for a little bit. All right, inhale, exhale, relax. One more inhale, exhale, relax. Hopefully, we get a little bit of calf stretch. You're relaxing a little bit more into that stretched out position. It's not gonna be easy because for a lot of us, our muscles are gonna be firing really hard, just trying to keep us stable, trying to keep us balanced. We're gonna try our best to chill. All right. From here, we're gonna add a little bit of movement. I want you to try your best to bring one leg down to the ground. Take it nice and slow with control. If you find that all of a sudden your knee goes boom and you start slamming into the ground, maybe don't go that deep. Before you lose control, bring that leg back. All right? Do the other side and back. Maybe try both if you can. Nice and gentle. And once you've done a couple of those and your legs are super tired, we're going to change it up. We're going to do a different angle. I want you to open up one leg to the side, the other leg to the other side, bring it back in, bring them out at the same time, flap your wings a couple of times, and whew, that is enough. Hopefully, your ankles, your knees, your hips are a little bit more mobile now. Maybe not loosened up, maybe not relaxed because you're holding yourself up, but that's okay. We're going to make it way worse. Let's go. We're going to get some Cossack switches. All right. I want you to stay in that squat position. I want you to stick your hands straight down into the ground. I want you to extend one leg. Where it's at isn't that big a deal. We're going to move it anyway. And then we're going to plant this heel down. And the reason why it's down is because that's going to help you stay stable, right? So make sure this foot is flat on the ground for the most part. From here, this is the optional part where you decide how deep you want to get, all right? If you're newer to the show, feel free to start a little higher so you figure out the movement, you get yourself some time to understand what we're doing. If you're a little bit more experienced, if you're a regular, feel free to drop as low as you can. All right. From here, we're gonna put our hands down on the ground if you can reach. If you cannot, feel free to grab like a stool, a coffee table, some yoga blocks, something to help you bring your body over to the other side. All right. And we're gonna come on over to the other side. Boom. Once you're here, we're mirroring that position that we were just in, except now it's on this side. Sink a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale. Exhale. Squish and come on back. Do 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 do. That is one rep. We're gonna keep going. Come on over and back. That's two. If you feel like you don't need your hands anymore, feel free to skip using your hands and keep going. That's three and four. If you feel like you're ready for a little bit more, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter. Instead of having your chest and head leaning super far forward, try to send it straight up into the air. Your low back is going to kick in. Stick your arms out to counterbalance and keep going. Across and down. That's six. Across and down. That's seven. Across and down. That's eight. There's only two left. Right now, because I forgot to tell you this earlier, if your knees are feeling a little bit achy, we can change things up. You can come up a little bit from wherever you are, and then you can slide across, and then come on down. All right? Up, slide, and down. That's nine. Again, up, slide, and down. Last one, up, slide, and down. That should take some pressure off of the knee, make it a little bit easier on the inside of the knee, not necessarily your quads, because you have to come up a little bit before you slide. And that's 10 reps. That's 10 reps of Cossack switches and then Cossack slidey things. All right. If you're feeling a little tired, don't worry. The rest of the show, and this was the end of our warm up. The rest of the show is about stretching. All right. So far, we have gotten our heart rate up. We're starting to sweat a little bit. We've loosened up our joints. We've gotten our muscles prepared for some intense stretching. And you don't have to worry about the rest of the show. It's a little bit chiller than what we just did. The cardio stuff is done. All right. We're going to move on into our first stretch. It is a hamstring stretch. I recommend you go grab a little bit of, ooh, that was scary. I recommend you go grab a little bit of foam to pad your knee, all right? I have some gym floor, like, marketed stuff. You don't need anything fancy. If you got an old stuffed animal, perfect. Flip-flop, perfect. Dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee, we're ready to go, all right? From here, let's continue with some stretching. I want you to stick one knee down directly into the ground. And I want the rest of your body to be going straight up and down. So knees to the hips, hips to the shoulders, shoulders to the head in a nice straight line, as straight as you can. All right. We're going to extend one leg out in front. we're gonna fold the belly button down to that thigh. All right, it's gonna look like this. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, we're gonna stop. We're gonna inhale. We're going to let our bodies flop over that leg. We're gonna relax. All right. Inhale. Relax. Man, that's intense. Another. Inhale. Relax. That's two. All right. Now we're gonna add a little bit of movement. All right. What I want you to do is bend the knee. I want you to bring the chest down to that knee, or as close to it as possible. Find that position. Try and keep your chest there, and then slowly straighten out your leg. All right. I'm gonna try and do it without covering myself. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. That's three. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. I think that's like 4 or 5. I don't know how many of these we've done. Let's just pretend we're at 5. All right. Once you've done about 5, you should feel a little bit more comfortable in your stretch. And we're gonna get a little bit deeper. All right. I want you to do a big inhale, then a slow exhale, and then I want you to fold at the same time as you're exhaling. Ready? Let's go. Big inhale. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Woo! That is our hamstring stretch. We just got a whole bunch deeper. We're gonna relax now. Inhale. Relax. Oh man, that was intense. One more inhale. Relax. We're a little deeper. We're gonna add some more movement. Again, let's go. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. I'm not using my hands, so that's easier for you to see what I'm trying to do. You should absolutely use your hands for support if you want to. All right, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. Whew. All right, time to go a little bit deeper. Y'all ready? Big inhale, exhale, fold. Let's go. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down. It's not about your neck. It's not about your upper back. It's your low back and your butt and your hamstrings. All right. Bring that belly button down. Whew. All right. Once you're as deep as you can. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. One more inhale. Relax. Let your body flop over that leg and some more movement here. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Ooh, bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. If it feels like I'm going a little bit fast, you should know you don't have to go nearly as fast. All right, take your time with it. It's all good. And once you've done about 5, we're ready to hold. We're ready to chill. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If your hamstring stretch feels crazy right now, feel free to take your fingers, stab them into your hamstring muscles, massage them, poke them, feel all the little lumpy parts in your leg going, I wonder why it's so lumpy. You got 3 muscles that together are all called the hamstrings. One of those hamstring muscles literally splits off like a fork and breaks off into 2 pieces. It's also called the bicep, but in the leg. All right, means it has 2 heads. So you might even feel there's 4 different ropes up in your hamstring, and you might be confused. That is normal. Now you have introduced yourself to some muscle anatomy. I hope we're almost done with the stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, come on up out of that stretch. Woo! Woohoo! That is our first hamstring stretch. We don't have another hamstring stretch. We just got to stretch out the other leg. So don't worry about that sentence, all right? Try and kneel back and kneel up straight again. If you need to, because your glutes are too stretched out on that other leg, imagine you got to clench your butt cheeks because somebody's about to spank you. Go, ugh! And then once you flex the glutes a little bit and you clench the abs a little bit, those muscles should wake up and be ready for you to stretch into our second hamstring stretch. All right, let's go. Stand up nice and straight, extend the leg in front, fold that belly button down to the thigh, and as soon as you are feeling like you're stuck, we're ready to go. Inhale, relax. All right, that's one more. Inhale, relax. If you don't know the pattern yet, we do 2 big breaths, and then we do 5 knee bends and stuff, and then we fold a little deeper. All right, we've done 2 breaths, so let's knee bend. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. The purpose of this is to add a little bit of movement. The goal is to remind you of what we want the movement to feel like. We're trying to bring that upper body down to touch the thigh, and you're basically doing it when your knee and your chest touches, right? The only thing that's missing is this leg getting straightened. So you're doing a great job. That's 5. All right, it's time to stop for a little bit more. Let's get a little bit deeper. Ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Fold and exhale. Woo. Oh man, we're deep. Let's go. Inhale, relax. One more big inhale. Relax. Let your body flop over that leg, and we're moving again. Bend the knee, chest down, straighten it out. 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 I think that's 4. Last one. Chest down, straighten it out, and whoo! Let's go. It's time to fold a little deeper. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Slowly exhale and fold. Woo-hoo. That is a third round. We're relaxing. Inhale. One more inhale. Relax. Oh man. Last round of movement. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 3. 2 more. That's 4. And 5. We're holding it here. 30 seconds. Let's go. 30. 29. 28. 27. If you are feeling a whole bunch of pressure in your neck, in your upper back, in your shoulders, in your mid back, you're working too hard. All right. The stretch that we're doing is in the hamstrings, is in your legs. And the only thing I want you to focus on in the upper half of your body is your belly button. Bring that belly button down to your thigh, and that is the only thing that is going to actually impact the hamstring. All right. Everything else is just making your back tired and uncomfortable. Cool. 15. 14, 13, 12, 11. If you're feeling a little bit of tenderness in the outside of the knee or achiness in the knee, you can give your knee a slight bend. That will take pressure off the knee and will reduce the intensity of the hamstring stretch, and both are fine. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Both of those things are fine because if your knee hurts, we don't want you to put a whole bunch more pressure into your knee. All right. You'll still get slowly deeper into your hamstring stretch if you have a slight bend in the knee for now. You can focus on bringing your chest down to the leg without pain, and then you can slowly straighten it out at the end, right? Whew. That is our first stretch. That is the hamstring stretch. I promise most of the other stretches aren't going to be nearly as intense. It is because the hamstrings are so important for our show that we spend a lot of time here because there's a lot of exercises that are going to require the hamstrings to be relatively comfortable. All right, that is why we spend so much time there. We're going to move on into our second stretch. It's called the butterfly stretch. What I want you to do at home is to move your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall. All right. When you're leaning against the wall, I want you to bring your feet together. I want you to pull it in towards the center of your body. We are in our starting position, and my dog thinks it's a perfect time to sit in my lap. This is incredibly adorable, but I need to work. Please don't lick my face. All right. From here, we're going to try and bring our knees a little bit deeper into the ground. And that is how we get into a deeper stretch. The stretch is supposed to happen here in your inner thighs, in your adductor muscles. Oh, thank you for leaving so I can demonstrate. In your adductors, in your inner thigh muscles. And the way we do that is by bringing the knees down into the ground. I want you to use your glutes. I want you to use your outer thighs. I want you to pull your own legs open. You bring me popcorn, and this popcorn fell for me. What the heck? I've been snacking on popcorn, so I think I might have dropped some near his bed or near his head, and he just transferred it over to my pants. Or maybe it's been on my pants this whole time. Somebody who's been paying attention, let me know. Next, when you have your legs a little bit wider open, we're going to take our hands, we're going to push our legs down into the ground. All right? You're going to feel some pressure in the back of your head and in your shoulders when you're pushing down because your arms are pushing your legs down, but your shoulders are pushing your back into the wall. And that is all okay. That's normal. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. All right? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. If your shoulders are up like this, you can slowly bring your arms down, your shoulders down. If you have no idea how to do that, don't worry about it. Just focus on pushing your legs down. 25, 24. As you breathe, as you exhale, I want you to focus on pushing your legs down a little deeper. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. I just brushed you. He just like shook out his whole body and now there's like tiny hairs flying about. 15, 14, 13, and he also discovered the little piece of popcorn, but he didn't eat it. He left it on the floor. You gotta at least vacuum up after me. Come on. 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. Keep on pushing those legs down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, relax. Whew. That was our butterfly stretch. Much shorter than the first one, much shorter than our hamstring stretch. If your wrists are tired, give them a light, gentle shake. Let them flop a little bit and relax. All right. Next, we're going to try and lift our legs. We're going to give them a little bit of a flapping as well. We're going to turn them into butterflies in our butterfly stretch. And hopefully, when your legs are moving a little bit better, we're ready for for stretch number 3. I was about to say size for number 3, but that's not happening for a long time. That's much later. Stretch number 3, we're going to get into some standing pancake. All right, come on up into standing. And I'm going to get rid of this cushion real quick. Let's talk about the pancake. When we're setting up to get into the standing pancake, I want you to open up your legs decently wide. It doesn't have to be crazy. If you can get about 60-ish degrees in this triangle, you're doing good. Cool? As long as you have no pain in the hips, you're able to do a little hula hooping. There's no pinching sensation here. We're ready to continue. We're going to fold. If you're feeling a little bit of a pinching sensation in your hips already, I want you to bring your legs in together just a little bit. Make sure you can do a little hip shake without discomfort. And we're now ready to fold. All right. We're bringing the belly button down to the ground. As soon as you get stuck while you're folding forward, that is our starting position. All right. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. What we want to do is bring our upper body in between our legs. And it might look a little bit like this. I'm going to be honest, my pancake isn't that good, and it is the stretch that has taken me the longest to make progress in. But the goal is to fold your upper body in between your legs. And when we're in the standing variation, we're letting gravity do a lot of the heavy lifting, or I guess the heavy pulling, and it looks like this. All right? I want you to get your body folded forward. To make it harder, you can extend your arms past your ears. Inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the ground. If you want to make this harder, feel free to hold something in your hands. Add some weight and inhale, exhale, sink a little bit deeper. If you're concerned your face is too close to the ground, instead of having your butt directly above your legs, scoot your butt back. Lean a little bit further back. Extend your arms forward to help counterbalance and just chill out here. All right. If you want to make this even harder, you got one last thing you can add. You can open up your legs a little bit wider. The wider you go, the more intense the stretch is going to be in your inner thighs, which is the muscle we just stretched out a couple seconds ago in the adductors. All right, let's go. Stick your butt back if you're ready for it. Extend your arms and 30 seconds. Let's do it. Bring the belly button down. Bring the belly button down. Bring the belly button down. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Oh, man, that is a pancake. Whew. All right, take a couple seconds, catch your breath. If you can, bring your legs in together and come back into standing. If you're struggling with that, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes in, wiggle your heels in, wiggle your toes and heels and toes and heels and toes and heels until you bring your legs underneath you. All right, walk your hands up, the thigh. Whew. Slowly come back into standing. Shake out your legs. Shake, 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 shake. That is our third stretch. That is the standing pancake. Whew! That was hard. And with that, we're going to move on to our fourth stretch. We're going to move right on ahead. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, move those hips. do a little dance, just help those muscles to relax for a second, and then we're going to get into our fourth stretch. We got the option between the figure four or the pigeon. I'm pretty sure last night we did the figure four, so tonight I'm going to demonstrate the pigeon. All right, each night I do one of the two moves, and today is pigeon day. Both have the same fundamentals. We're taking one leg, we're crossing over to the other side. We're making this shape that kind of looks like a number four. We're grabbing that ankle, we're bringing it up towards our belly button, and we're bringing the belly button down towards the ankle. And we're going to get into this kind of shape. All right, you're going to feel a stretch out here in the side of your hip. You're going to feel a stretch here in your hamstrings. It's your hamstrings because your legs are rotated, so it's still the back of your leg, but it's rotated upwards, so now it looks like it's the inside of your leg, but as your hamstrings. And you might feel a little bit right here where you're actually doing the folded. All right, we're going to take this position. We're going to come on down into the ground. All right, slowly drop on down, and boom, here we are. What I want you to do is find this middle line between your eyes, down to your nose, down to your mouth, down to your belly button. This is your middle line. So we're going to call it from now on. All right. Now I want you to find a midpoint between your knee and your ankle. All right. Knee for me, ankle for me. This is about middle. I'm going to try and get this middle line to go as far forward and try to touch up to that midpoint right here. All right. Luckily for me, I'm already in position. I just got to pull forward. Whee! Ugh. That is the whole thing. That's the pigeon stretch. We already kind of did it while standing, but now we get to do a folded. All right. You got some options and some variations to make this harder. You can extend your leg off to the side if you want. If it's comfortable for you, just let it do whatever it wants. Cool? If that is not comfortable for you, maybe try having the leg slightly bent off to the side and get back into your forward fold. All right? Alternatively, if you've done some yoga, you might know another variation where we stick our leg back behind us. This is challenging because it adds a whole bunch of extra stretches into our leg. All right? We're still having that leg come across our body, but instead of having the leg off to the side, we're sticking it back behind us. All right. When you get into this position, you're putting a whole bunch of stress into this muscle, the hip flexors. And the first thing that makes contact typically is going to be your knee. So you're going to feel a whole bunch of pressure on your knee because your knee is trying to go that way, and it's just unfortunately blocked by the floor. To make this a little bit more comfortable, you got a couple of options. The first thing is stop standing up so straight. All right, just lean forward, relax, fold. When you're a little lazier, when you're laying down, there's going to be less of a stretch here in the hip. There's going to be less pressure in the knee. A second tip potentially is if you can try to put your toes down. All right, when your toes are down, they're going to be much better at being down compared to your knee, and it might be a little bit more comfortable that way. All right. Finally, there's one last tip: is to elevate your front leg. All right, this might be the best one of the three actually. If you can elevate your front leg just a little bit, for most of us normal people, our hips will also come up. If you're incredibly flexible and your hips stay low to the ground, even though you can elevate your leg, then you don't need this explanation. You're already crazy flexible, right? But for most of us, when you elevate your front leg, your hips are going to come up. It's going to give you way more space back here for you to put that leg back behind you, and you'll be able to still work on that forward fold without as much pressure in the back leg, right? So you can elevate your leg with a coffee table. You can elevate your leg with your couch. You can elevate it with your bed. You can elevate it with a stool, right? Just find something stable, find something sturdy, and it's time for us to begin. We're taking that leg, we're bringing it across the body, taking this middle line, we're bringing it down to the midpoint between the knee and the ankle, and optionally, we can extend that leg back behind us if we want to. Feel that stretch in the side of your butt, in your glutes. Feel it in your hamstrings. Fold. Bring the belly button down to the ground. Keep your hips low. They should be lower than your chest. Your hips come down first. And I want you to melt. I want you to turn into jello. Exhale. Disintegrate. Turn into jello. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. When you're in this position, there's a tendency for your ankle to tuck into your groin area. All right. If you feel like your stretch suddenly got way easier, it's probably because your heel slipped towards your groin. To make it harder, you just push your heel back towards your face, and all of a sudden, even if you only go like 1 centimeter, it will be crazy. 20, 19, 18, 17. Keep breathing. Keep trying to relax. Keep trying to melt into the floor. 15. 14. 13. 12. Big, long exhales. Oh, relax your muscles. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. That is our pigeon stretch. We're done with half of it. Let's go. Other side. Crossing the leg across once again. We're going to find a nice comfortable position for that back leg, however it needs to go. Make sure your hips are staying low, and then fold forward. Bring that middle line down to the midpoint between your knee and your ankle, and sink into the floor, melt, turn into jelly, and breathe. 30, 29, 28. Take nice, slow, long exhales. Sink into the floor, melt. 25, 24, 23, 22. I don't think I need to say this, but if you're just exhaling a lot, you might also want to try inhaling to replenish some breath to exhale with. 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Again, if it feels like it's suddenly got easy out of nowhere, maybe try pushing your ankle towards your face. 10, 9, 8. Keep breathing. Sink into the floor. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. Whew. Slowly bring your legs back into something more comfortable than the pigeon. And we're done with our fourth stretch. We have a total of 5 stretches. That means we are towards the end of our life. All we have left is our side splits. All right. If you've never done side splits before, then you should probably know that this is a 45 to 60-minute side split and hip mobility show that we do every single day to practice consistency, to build our side splits, to work on our hip mobility, because side splits are just advanced hip mobility. All right. What else do you need to know? We do this every day, so you should follow, you should subscribe, so you can keep coming back and train with us. All right. Now, let's talk about some side splits. If you've never done them before, don't worry. We are going to break them down into little steps so that you can slowly get a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper, and we're not going to rush it. You can pause at any moment, you can stop at any moment, and I will remind you that you can stop at any moment a lot. So, don't worry about it, and let's get into some side splits. The first thing I want you to do, actually, before we do that, is grab a little bit of hand support. All right? It is very likely that you're going to get into a position that looks like this. Your hands are going to be on your hand support, your legs are going to be wide, and you're going to be leaning and putting a whole bunch of weight into that hand support. All right. This is a little folding stool I got for 12 bucks out of Amazon. All right. It's not a specialty product. It's not fancy. If you have some yoga blocks, feel free to stack a couple. Use that. If you have a regular chair, as long as it's relatively stable, feel free to stick your elbows onto it and use that. Right? If you're not getting super deep, you can put your palms on it too, right? Because it'll be higher up. But if you're getting a little bit deeper and you're like, oh, my chair is so high, what am I going to do? Ken's little stool is like 5 inches tall or something. You can put your elbows on it. Cool? What else we got? Coffee tables. Those will be great. But I want you to make sure that it is lightweight enough that you can move it around, because we're going to adjust our body position. We're going to find a comfortable, controllable position so that it's easier for you to relax. All right? Now that I have talked about all the different reasons why we need hand support, we can just put it off to the side. We don't need it right now. We're going to need it in like 30 seconds, just not right now. Next, I want you to stick your butt up against the wall. All right? Boom. Do a little wiggle. Take half a step forward in front of that wall. Open up your legs. Make sure your hips don't hurt. Do a little hip wiggle. If you're feeling a pinching sensation in your hip, bring your legs in just a little bit. And do another wiggle. If that pinching sensation has disappeared, we're ready to fold. Bring that belly button down to the ground. Fold, 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 fold. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck folding forward, test yourself. If you can palm the floor, you might not need hand support. But if you cannot palm the floor, you definitely are going to want hand support. And realistically, for most of us, hand support is going to be next. All right. So from here, grab your hand support, and I want you to slowly open up your legs a little bit wider. All right. When you're pushing some weight into your arms, or supporting some weight in your arms. So there's going to be less on your legs. And when there's less on your legs, it'll be a little bit easier to find a nice, comfortable position. And that's what we want, comfort. I want you to scoot your butt back so that your butt is touching the wall. I want you to open up your legs a little wider so that you feel like you're in control. You're not slipping too far. It's not too intense just yet. And I want you to put your hands on that stool or whatever it is you're resting your hands on. And I want you to bring everything nice and close to the wall. All right? From here, we're going to rotate our legs so that our thighs never smash into our hip bones. Our thigh bone has a little bony part that smashes into our hip bones, and that was that pinching pain I was talking about earlier, right? In order to prevent that, what we're going to do is rotate the leg. We're going to rotate it backwards 90 degrees. It looks like this. Boom. Our heels are down, our toes are pointing up, and our knees are pointing up, and our inner thighs are pointing forward or facing forward. All right, we gotta do this on both sides because both legs have a lumpy part that smashes into your hip. Boom, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Let me pull my legs in together so you can actually see. Heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. From here, put your hands on your hand support. Let your hands take over a lot of the weight, and slowly let your butt come down towards the ground. All right. Your butt is currently resting on the wall. Your hands are on your hand support. Your legs are slowly coming a little bit wider, a little bit wider, a little bit wider, and you're trying to find a comfortable, controllable position where you feel like you're okay. Everything's fine. All right. The reason why this is important and why I keep on emphasizing this is because if you feel like you're about to slip, if you feel like you're about to fall, your body's going to be really tense. If you're really tense, it's going to be very hard for you to relax. It's going to be really hard for you to get deeper into your stretch. So we want to find a chill, comfortable position to relax in. All right, we're going to take a big breath in now. Ready? Inhale. Slowly exhale and relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. One more. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Next, this is all optional, by the way, so you can stop at any time if you feel like it. We're going to do a little lean to the right, oof, little lean to the left, oof, little lean to the right, little lean to the left. And then when you can't get any deeper, you may or may not need your hand support anymore. You might be really close to the ground, but if you need it, please use it. I'm just demonstrating so it's easier to see what my body's doing. All right. From here, if your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, your head is basically kind of pointing up, we're in a side split position and we're ready to hang. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. If you feel like you can do a little wiggle, get a little bit deeper, take it. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. If the pressure is too much, you can always push a little bit harder off your hands, and that will take pressure off your legs. If you feel like it's not enough, you can always bend your arms a little bit more, let your body drop a little deeper, and suffer. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Toss that hand support out of the way. Walk your hands forward a little bit. Bring your knees in underneath you. Grunt, groan, make a whole bunch of annoying sound effects, and that is our first side split. All right. Take a couple seconds. Catch your breath. And we're going to come back into standing. We're going to shake out the tension in our bodies. All right. What we just did was put a whole bunch of tension into our bodies, and now our limbs don't want to move. That is stretch number one. When you're able to, when you're ready, start shaking out one of your ankles. Take a look at it. Flop it front and back a little bit. Flop it side to side a little bit. Flop a little harder. If it's not uncomfortable, flop a little bit harder, and 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 a little bit harder. And when your ankles are flying all over the place, chances are all the muscles that would stop it from flying all over the place are relaxed enough to let it go flying all over the place. And that's what we want, relaxation. All right. Take a couple of quick steps, see if that leg feels a little bit better, feels a little bit smoother, and let's continue with the other leg. Shake, 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 shakety, shake, 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 shake some more, shakety, shake, 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 and stop. Take a couple of steps, do a little shimmy, do a little dance, make sure everything's feeling good, and we're gonna move on to our hips. All right. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, big toe of the other foot down, with this knee slightly bent. I want you to point that knee all the way out that way, as far that way as you can. Then I want you to rotate the leg and bring the knee in so that the knees are almost touching. All right? As far away as possible, in as if they're touching. Open, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. When you're first starting out, build some control, build some strength, build some precision, work those muscles in your hips, in your glutes. And once you've built up some confidence, you're able to go a little bit faster. You're able to go a little bit more intensely. Go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pick up the tempo. Have fun with it. All right. Other side. All your weight in one leg. Big toe is down. Point that leg all the way out. Bring it slowly in. Build that control. Build that strength. There is nothing that needs to move other than this thigh bone where it connects into the hip. Right? Notice that nothing else is moving. Not the standing leg, not the chest, not the waist. It's just this thigh bone where it connects into the hip socket. And once you've gotten a little bit more comfortable with it, go a little faster. Shake, 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 and that is shaky, shaky stuff. Hopefully, you're feeling a little bit looser. You're feeling a little bit more comfortable, and hopefully, you're ready for side split number 2. Let's go. Butt up against the wall. Take half a step forward. Remember, we're not going super far. We're resting our butts against the wall. The wall is our best friend. We're going to open up our legs decently wide. You don't have to do anything crazy. If you're feeling a pinching sensation in your hips, that's your thigh bone smashed into your hip bone. It's going to suck, so don't go too wide. Everybody's hips are going to be a little bit different. Everybody's thigh bones are going to be a little bit different. So my version might not look like your version, and that's okay. From here, when your hips are moving back and forth, you're able to do a little hula hooping. We're going to fold. Bring that belly button down. Fold. Wee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, put your hands down and see if you can benefit from a hand support. Put your hands down. Open up your legs a little bit wider, and let's get ready to externally rotate the legs. What I mean by that is we're rotating the leg backwards 90 degrees. We're going from foot flat on the ground, knees kind of pointing forward to boom, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Other side, heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. When you're in this position, you might be in a really high side split, but you are in a side split. All right. Take your time, slowly come down, use your hand support for control. Let your butt rest against the wall. Slowly slide down that wall and find a comfortable position. Right? The reason why we are here is because the wall is keeping us stable, the stool is keeping us stable, and we're trying to find a nice, stable place to relax, to be comfortable with. Right? Stretching, at least this version of stretching, passive stretching for us, is all about relaxation. If you are super scared right now, that is not going to help you relax. So when you feel like you're in control, it's going to be much easier to relax. Cool? All right. We're going to breathe. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. Adjust your muscles, adjust your legs, adjust your arms if you feel like you slipped a little too much. All right? Again, inhale. Relax. Sink a little bit deeper. Keep going. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little bit deeper. And these are all optional, by the way. Add a little bit lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, so you can get just a tad bit deeper. Next, we're going to walk our hands forward a tiny little bit so that our hands are resting underneath our shoulders. When we do this, our knees are going to also lean forward, and they're going to be pointing up at like a 45-ish degree angle. The reason why we're doing this is because it emphasizes the stretch in the inner thighs, and that is what we want. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. If you're feeling like the stretch isn't nearly as intense as the other one, feel free to bend your elbows. When your arms are locked out, they carry a lot of weight. When you bend your arms, it transfers it back into your legs, and all of a sudden that stretch feels crazy. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. See if you can add a little wiggle if you can. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Walk your hands forward just a little bit. Bring your legs in underneath you. Oof, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. That is our second side split. Whew. Slowly, slowly catch your breath. Chill, relax, and when you're ready, come back into standing. Take a nice step forward. Stand on up. And We're gonna shake it out. Let's go. Shake out the ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Shakety shake, 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 shake some more. Shake, 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 shake. Shakety shake, 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 shake. Remember, this is about relaxation. It's not about the maximum speed that you're reaching. It's not about the maximum range of motion that you're reaching. Aim for those things. Those are all good, but it's about relaxation. All right. And when you're able to flop really fast, when you're able to flop really deep, your muscles are going to be very relaxed. All right. That's not what we're aiming for necessarily, but if you do get there, great, amazing, cool. All right, other leg. Shake, 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 shakety, shake, 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 shake some more. Shake, 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 shakety, shake, 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 flop, 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 flop. Your other muscles are also working hard, so if you want to shake out your arms too at the same time, feel free to add it in, flop it around. It looks goofy, I know. Just pretend you are made of soggy, over-boiled pasta and flop around. Cool. All right. Hopefully, your legs are feeling a little bit better. Do a little wiggle, do a little shake, do a little shimmy, and whew, let's get into our hip stuff. All your weight is in one leg, big toe of the other leg is down. We're really opening up those hips, pointing that knee that way. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Go a little faster if you can. If you don't have enough control, if you don't have enough strength for it yet, feel free to focus on just working on building strength and range. Then, if you got it, you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Have fun with it. All right. Next, are you waiting one leg? Big toe is down, in, out, 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 and whoo. Shake out your legs one last time. Little ankle flop, little wrist flop, flop everything. Just floppy, 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 floppy. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 and let's get into cycle number 3. Wrap things up. Butt up against the wall. Half a step forward. Open up those legs. Breathe in. Fold. Hand support. Open up those legs a little wider. Externally rotate the legs so that the heels are down, the toes are up, the knees are up. Let your butt rest against the wall. Drop a little bit deeper. Use your hands for support. Find a nice comfortable position in your stretch. Your butt is against the wall. Your heels are down. Your hands are straight down by your thighs on your hand support. All right. From here, we're ready to go a little bit deeper. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. Again, inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. That's 2. Maybe another. Inhale. Exhale. That's 3. Woo, we're deep. These are all optional. Do a little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left, so you can get a little tiny bit deeper. And whoo, that is our setup. You got options. You can do the first stretch where we just hang out in this position for 30 seconds. You can do the second stretch where we walk our hands forward a little bit into that push-up position, hands underneath shoulders. You're going to feel it more in your inner thighs. What you do is up to you. 30 seconds. Let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. That is our whole entire stretching shenanigans. Bring your legs in underneath you. Walk your hands forward slowly. Whew. Grunt, groan. Take as many moments as you need. That is our third and final side split. We've done all the hard work. Now all we got left is a little shaky, shaky, relaxing type stuff. And then we'll be done. I'll look at the chat, do some Q&A, and we'll wrap up. All right, slowly come back up into standing. Whew. Shake out your legs. Start with the ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake some more. Shakety, shake, 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 shake. You know how we were using the muscles to do this in and out? See if you can sort of combine a miniature version of it into your ankle shake. See if you can get just a whole bunch more floppiness out of that leg. You don't have to stick with just the ankle if you don't want to. If you are regular on the show, you've been doing this for a little bit, feel free to start adding in a little bit more crazy fun stuff and see if you can get more out of the same amount of time that we're spending. All right? Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And let's move on to our hips. All your weight in one leg. Big toe is down. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Other side. Toe, leg. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. And I am a big supporter of using the muscles, using the musculature, using the range, using the mobility that you just worked on for other things. All right. If you want to do some stanky leg, pull that leg in, push it out, bring that in, push it out, bring the leg in, push it out. Have fun with the mobility that you're building, with the strength that you're building, right? It's basically just this in and out and in and out. But we're extending the leg. We're pulling the leg in with some grace, with some pizzazz. We're rotating, throwing that leg out and going boom, pushing that leg out. Have a little bit of fun with the mobility that you're building. And it's only fair that we do this side. Bend and bring that leg in, push it out, bring the leg in, push it out, bring the leg in, push it out. Have fun with the hip mobility, with the strength that you're building. All right, now that I've said that like 7 times, let's wrap up with some joint checks. We're gonna do some hip circles, we're gonna do some calf raises, and we'll be done. Cool? Hip circles, nice and slow. Really, 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 really lean into it. Oh yeah. Right after the side splits, I tend to feel a crazy amount of stretch here in the left and right sides of the hips, and even slightly to the front, but like still the right sides of the hips. Whoa! So I like to hang out there. And oh, if you're feeling the same way, feel free to do the same thing. Switch the other direction if you're feeling all right. Switch some more. Keep rotating in. When you're feeling a little bit better, let's do a couple quick high knees. Boom, and boom. 2 is enough. We're ready to move on. We're gonna do some calf raises from a squatting position. I want you to keep your feet about hips width apart, not wide, not narrow, about hips width apart, or even shoulder width apart. All right. From here, I want you to squat down, and from the side, I want it to look a little like this. I want you to have your whole upper body kind of leaning really far forward, and I want you to push your knees forward as well, so that your knees are almost past your toes, or way past your toes if you can get there. All right. Once you're doing this, a lot of your body weight is going to be really trying to fall forward, and you might even feel like you're about to fall forward. We want this because we want our toes to kick in. We want our toes gripping the floor to keep us stable. All right. And now that your toes are engaged, the arch of your foot should also be engaged. You should be feeling that stretch in your Achilles tendon and in your calves. You can poke those calves to double check. Your quads are probably crying, telling you to stop and cut it out already. Your low back is probably tired from holding up your upper body. And we're going to do some calf raises now, right? Put your hands down for some support. Lift those heels. If you don't need the support, feel free to skip it. But if you do need the support, use it. All right, I think that's 3. Keep going. Do as many of these as you like. If you want to stop right now, feel free to stop. If you feel like you got a couple more in you, feel free to take this momentum, take the fact that you're already sweaty, take the fact that you're all warmed up to do a couple more. That's 9, I think, and 10. I don't even know how many of these I've done. I think it's the most I've ever done on this show. Boom, that's 12. All right. Oh, now your legs are all stuck again because you were flexing your muscles super hard. Shake them out one last time. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Relax. Loosen up. Flop. And whew, that is our show. If you're able to pull off most of that crazy squatting calf raise thing, chances are your feet, your ankles, your knees, your calves, your Achilles tendon, your quads, your hips, your low back, they're all working really well together. And you're probably ready to go do whatever else you got to do for the rest of the day. Cool? All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, working on that hip mobility with me today. Again, we are live every single day starting at 9 p.m. If this is your first time joining in, 9 p.m. was an hour and 4 minutes ago. That time, 1 hour and 4 minutes ago, is the same time that we start every single day, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. All right. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, you like flopping around and being goofy and having some fun little dance moves in your exercise, then make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. Whew. And also, you might need to set an alarm because even though you follow or subscribe, it doesn't always send you a notification when I go live. So some people have told me they have literal calendar invites like scheduled for the live, and that's awesome. You should do it too. Cool. I'm gonna take a look at the chat. Oh, I'm gonna pull my stool over and see what's going on. PK Gachus says, "Me encanto, hoisite al something con." I don't know how the E is pronounced at the end when it has an accent, but it's nice to meet you as well. Thank you. I don't actually know what the rest of that sentence means, but I know what encanto means. Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. Oh, thank you for the roast too. I appreciate it. All right. Keisha says, you might need to add weight to your pancake stretch to make it deeper, Ken. I don't want to. The pancake is already so hard. Okay. Keisha says, wee, all the way down into the hamstring stretch. Yep. Yep, 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 yep. Okay. I'm scrolling over at YouTube real quick because usually there's many fewer messages or many fewer messages. Grammar. Queen R says, good evening. Keisha says, good evening, Side Splits crew. Welcome, Keisha. 149293GL says, hi, is this stretching? Yes, yes, it is. We did a lot of stretching. I hope you realize that as you continued through the live, because I'm sure this came in really early and I obviously didn't see it. But welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you had fun. And if you're still on, let me know. Queen R says, if you are working towards middle splits, these are great stretches. Amazing. These thoracic twists are everything after a 10-hour desk job. Thank you, Keisha. I'm glad. I'm glad because most of us don't put much time into this function of our spine, and hopefully, hopefully, makes things a little bit lighter, makes things a little easier. Some of that stiffness, yeah, 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 goes away a little bit when you do them. Cool. Emmanuel says hi. Hello, hello, hello. All right, what else we got? Whee! Okay, Keisha is telling me I need to get some more weight for the pancake. I will probably go get a little dumbbell for tomorrow. I have been using the tiny little. Oh, I'm sitting on the stool. I was looking for the stool. I was like, "Where's the stool?" Been using a little bit of stool. I think it's maybe like 1 or 2 pounds at most. So I guess we can upgrade to the 5 pound mini dumbbell. And work from there. Cool. All right. I'm gonna scroll over onto TikTok and see what's going on. Ms. Vaughn says thank you, thank you. Chevelle says thank you. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Rena says it's my last. It's the last 3 stretches. I hope I can be able to put my toe up all long in a few months. I hope so too. Um, is there anything specific I want to say about this? As long as you don't get injured, as long as you don't do anything silly and aggressively intense, you'll start and continue to make steady progress. When you first start, there should be a big short term increase in flexibility and mobility because your body probably was capable of it at some point and just kind of forgot. So you get to get all that back in not so long a time. So there's like a quick, super fast period that's going to happen right in the first couple of months. And then things might slow down a little bit. When things slow down, we really want to do a little bit more strength training and build strength, right? In the hamstring stretch, for example, when we are passively waiting for the stretch to increase and we're just letting gravity pull ourselves down, or we're with our legs in this position and we're trying to fold forward, at some point it will be really good for you to start working on contracting the muscles that help bring your leg into that position, right? So in this case, in that hamstring stretch, it would be doing leg lifts. It would be trying to really focus on bringing your upper body down using muscles, all right? And that will speed things up. So the way you can start integrating that into our live right away is really focusing on contracting all the muscles that kind of pull yourself into the stretch while you're doing it. And over time, you'll build up a little bit of strength, you'll build up a little bit more control, you'll build up a little bit more familiarity with the exercise or the stretch, and that will go a long way towards making whatever you wrote. Put my toe up all along in a few months. That will make that a lot easier. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Eddie says, "Do you speak Chinese?" I do. My parents speak Chinese at home, and so I speak Chinese at home. But it is very limited to like house things Chinese, right? Like if I were to go to a dental office and I try to speak Chinese, I would just be clueless. So if you want me to find the toilet, get the broom, turn on the air conditioning, that household language stuff, I'm good. Waters of Insight says, indeed, that looks like shenanigans. Good, good. We want you to embrace your inner child and have some fun while we shake out our bodies and relax, chill. If it's too intense, if it's too strict, if it has to be a very specific certain way, some people don't like rules, and we don't need them. All right. I'm gonna check out the chat. Travel with Roxy is encouraging Waters of Insight to wait a little longer so I can get to it. All right. Waters of Insight says, I'm a 52-year-old male. I have a junky hip, right side hip, very athletic even at this age, but my right hip has been giving me a lot of issues. Okay. Um, I'm gonna caveat everything that I say with I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you exactly what's going on with your hip from, here. And so I can give some general suggestions. I think that might point you in the right direction, but you'll have to try it, experiment, and see how it goes. All right. Your right hip has been giving you problems even though you're very athletic. Your right hip has been giving you problems even though you're very athletic. So, right away, a lot of things can start impacting your hip. If your spine is real tight, if your low back is real tight on one side, it could very well be so tight that your hip is been extra loose and extra weak to compensate to even out the tension on one side. So it could be entirely possible that you have an injury on like the left side of your low back that you have some old scar tissue from. Then like is okay most of the time, doesn't feel bad or anything. But because the left side of your back is pulling at an angle a little bit, it could be that your right side of the hip is a little looser than it should be, and that could be the pain that you're experiencing. Um, these are all generalizations. I'm just gonna throw a whole bunch of scenarios at them. What else? Why am I saying this? It is because your hips kind of balance your lower body and your upper body. So there could be things happening down into your ankle that is causing your hip to be uncomfortable. There could be things going up that is causing your hip to be uncomfortable. So oftentimes, focusing on just the hip might not actually solve any of the hip issues that you're experiencing because the source of the problem is a tight or weak muscle somewhere else. So that is just going to make things way more complicated and confusing. But let's see. Where are some other points that you might be able to identify that might be causing some issues with your hip? If you're you have a tendency to have your feet bow in, you might have some inner knee pain. You might also have some outside right hip pain. So if you have flat feet or you have bunions or you have something that causes you to put a lot of weight on the inside edge of your foot when you're walking, when you're running, when you're doing your very active things, you're going to have that start impacting the outside of your right hip. Um, is that the majority of it? If your hip is actually just weird because of an old injury or something, um, you might want to, because you're already saying that you're relatively athletic, so it might not be just pure weakness in that hip. You might have a whole bunch of scar tissue and buildup of junk going on in that hip. It might be that you would benefit most from finding like a golf ball or a lacrosse ball and just rolling out that hip a lot, like every single day, just grinding away at any point that feels painful, feels tender to your hip when you apply a little bit of pressure. And maybe just loosening up that gunky tissue is going to be enough to help realign and relax the muscles so that they're supposed to work the way they're supposed to work. I I think probably some combination of the three things is involved because I think those are the most common reasons to have right hip issues. Usually it's not the hip itself, but if it is, you can do a whole bunch more of these things. We do hip cars at the beginning of every single show, and it looks like this. We're working on using our muscles to lift our leg up to really get maximum range of motion and build strength at that hip. So for the right side of the hip, if it's really out here, if you do some side leg lifts, in some cases, if you do some clamshells, which would start hitting some of that glute medius, like the side of your butt, which is also the muscle that gets stretched when we do the, what am I trying to say, pigeon stretch. That can absolutely help to build some strength in the muscles around here to help you get realigned. But I think I've thrown a crap ton of random information at you. Hopefully, you can test some of those things. Hopefully, some of those sentences sounded familiar to something else that you've been experiencing, and maybe you can go dive down that rabbit hole, because I think that's about as much information I can throw at you. I'm gonna scroll down and see if there's anything that has come in. Is I don't even know if Water Vincent is still on. Well, if he's not or she's not, then that's okay. All right. PK Gatsu says, I was able to come to your class today instead of the other day that I came at the end. Awesome. Amazing. Welcome back. Thank you for being here, and I hope you had fun. All right. Um, Thank you for coming back. It's not easy to show up and practice consistency. It's not easy to show up for an hour-long show and then suffer through it and be doing all these crazy things. So it is amazing that you're here, and you should be proud of yourself, really, truly. So thank you for being here, and I hope you had fun. All right, I'm gonna scroll back. I'm gonna scroll up and see what else we got. What else we got? What else we got? Waters of Niceness. No, 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 seriously, no disrespect. How long did it take to get a side split like that? Dude, I've been doing this show pretty much every day for December 1st of 2024. I guess it's about a year and a half now, maybe a little bit more than a year and a half. It's been a long time. I've been doing this every day. There's a caveat to this. The way I'm training, doing this every single day, is not the fastest way to get this place. All right, it is not remotely close to the most optimal way to get this place. But the reason why I still do it this way is because I've wanted to get the splits for like 15 years, and I have done so much YouTube research, so much stuff to go, oh, okay, this is the best plan, this is the best structure, this is the best for a month, whatever, whatever, whatever. And then I end up doing the workout for like 3 days, and then I completely bail and I stop doing it for like the next 6 months. Then I go, oh no, we're halfway through the year, like right now. And then I go, oh no, I need to work on my side splits if I want to get it by the end of the year. So I get back into it. I do like 3 more days, and then I completely stop for the rest of the year until it's New Year's, and I just repeat that cycle twice a year for like 15 years. And this time around, December 1st, 2024, I guess technically November 1st is when I started messing around, but December 1st is when the live portion, this thing started. I was like, I've been trying to do the best way and failing every year, twice a year for like 15 years. I'm gonna just do it a different way. I'm gonna focus on consistency. I'm gonna focus on doing a version that helps me build the skill of consistency, because that's what I was truly lacking. Not the knowledge, not the ability to focus on whatever muscles that needed to be contracted or relaxed. I needed to sit down and do the work every single day. And so this live was designed so that I can encourage other people to show up, so that I can encourage myself to show up. I just hacked my own people pleasing brain until I was super ultra consistent, not just for me, but for everybody else. And that is how this show started. And, now you're here for some other version of this show hundreds of days later. So, when I say that this show is about consistency, when I say it's the number one most important quality, I truly mean it. It is really cool because I don't think, other than maybe going to sleep and going to work, I have done anything remotely close to this level of consistency. That being said, this is not the most effective way to get your size place. It is really good if you're a beginner and you're building the habit, you're building the skill, you're setting aside the time in your life to show up to train every single day, because we're doing it together, we're building a little community around it. But if you're feeling like you're plateauing, if you feel like you're stuck, there are more advanced stretching techniques where you build a whole bunch of strength in your muscles and you control a whole bunch more of that movement. We're doing little bits and pieces of that stuff when we do hip cars, right? We're lifting that leg as high as we can. We're opening up that leg directly to the side as wide as we can. We're working on rotating and bringing the knee down and lifting the ankle up. All those things with strength help us to get into crazier and deeper positions. And that is the direction the stretching has to start to go into for you to get a little bit more flexible. All right. I'm doing bits and pieces of that. I'm trying to trim down the show a little bit shorter, like 50, 55-ish minutes. And then I'm going to add in the more intense stuff, I think, is the goal. So that we can get back to about an hour and get all of the really stuff. Cool. Hope that makes sense. I'm gonna keep scrolling. What else we got? What else we got? Rubber Band Man, I'm new to the channel. How long is it taking? It's taken a lot of days, a year and a half. I think I think you could probably call it 500 days. I don't actually know exactly what the number is. Trevor says I work late today. Have a good stream, Ken. Thank you, Trevor. Thank you for coming in, sending good vibes, even though you're not gonna be here. I appreciate it. Chevelle says, right. Oh, so cute. Yeah, Benji just came, sat down in between my legs, paused for a second, and then left. Because he knows that when I'm doing the live, I don't pay attention to him. So maybe I accidentally woke him up from a nap when I knocked over something or something. And he was like, oh, look, Ken is vulnerable on the floor. I can go ask for pets. And then he realized I was talking so much and I must be on the live. So he was like, all right, well, if I'm not getting pets, I'm out of here. So, paid actor, paid in uh, Hayden future treats, I guess. I don't know that he gets any treats for leaving. So he's just bored out of his mind when I don't do anything with him. He's punished. He's not a paid actor. He's a punished actor. Anne says, I missed 2 yoga classes this week, so I'll be feeling this now. Oof, that's rough. Chevelle says, this has become my least favorite stretch. Oh no, what stretch is this? Oh, maybe the hamstring stretch or maybe the butterfly stretch. Because Rena says the flip flop is the best act. Good. Good. I really want to emphasize that most of the time we are over invested into equipment, into cool stuff. We don't need 99% of those things. A flip flop, old stuffed animals, rolled up laundry to stick under your knee go a long way. You can get plenty with just those things that you already have in your home. All right. Lav says I always end up with stupid bruises. Oh no. Oh no. What was before this? Has a trip says looks painful. Maybe, perhaps. Chevelle says LMAO. I must have said something funny, but I don't remember what it is. Okay. I think we're pretty much at the top and we are done with the chat. Chase says hello. Okay, great. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, actually, nope. I gotta scroll all the way back down. If you don't know, because you're new to the live, I tend to scroll backwards and I go up the chat to, until I hit the like latest, or I guess the earliest thing way up at the top. And Water of Insight is back. Hello. I actually talked about your question a whole bunch, and you weren't here. This is so sad. I'm sad. But okay, let's do it again. My right psoas is killing me. Okay. There are some really cool little things that you can do for the psoas, and I'm gonna try and see if I can find something random in the house to use to do that. Oh, there we go. Here's something. All right. There's like fancy equipment that you can buy to stretch out your psoas muscle. For y'all who don't know, the psoas is kind of like here. It's a little bit below your belly button. It's kind of in like the really firm part of your waist. It's kind of along the side of your hip, sort of like down here. And if you poke on it, it might feel a little bit tender. There is like specialized equipment that you can buy that like you can just rest on that supposedly help stretch it out. I find that it's not totally necessary. It's fun to have, but if you get a cheap dumbbell off Facebook Marketplace, it might be raised just enough that you can do the same thing to yourself, one side at a time, and sink into the dumbbell, sink into the floor, and feel that sensation. Whew. Oh. So that might help with your right psoas. What else? I talked about a whole bunch of different reasons why you might be having a bit of hip stuff going on in the right hip. One of them, where am I going with this? Having weird stuff going on in your hip does not mean that your hip is necessarily that messed up. All right. The body is complicated in such a way where a lot of things are kind of connected together. So, if your right hip is a little messed up, it's entirely possible that there's something going on with the left side of your low back, and that is contracting and pulling this all weird. Possible. Another place where it could be weird is if you have feet that are sort of rotating inwards like this. Your arches are collapsing. You might feel a whole bunch of pain, discomfort in the outside of the knee. You might also feel it in your hip. It might make more sense if your foot's rolling out the other way that you feel it out in the hip, depending on like where and how you feel that right hip pain. So I I think that's the best advice I can offer. Um, PK Got You says, can use a little ball instead of that. You can absolutely use a little ball, but because the balls tend to have a bigger surface area, it might not be as targeted. The psoas muscle is actually like not that thick. It's like probably 2 fingers wide ish here. And so having something a little bit narrower might be able to focus more on the psoas. The ball is usually fine, but to get as deep as this deep into your hip, your ball would have to be pretty huge, right? And if your ball is pretty huge, it's going to be a little bit hard to hit that muscle. What else could you use? Um, I have a lint roller, right? And this is going to look a little goofy, but if you really stab the bottom edge into your hip like this, you can technically also just roll out the psoas muscle because that's basically what the fancy thing is. The fancy tool, I don't even know what it's called. It's like Psoarite, Psoasrite. I think the last time I saw it online was probably like 3, 4, 5 years ago. I think it was recommended by like Tim Ferriss or something at some point. I might be making this up. I can't remember. But there's definitely also knockoffs of that tool because there's no way it costs. I think when I saw it, it was like a $50 tool. There's no way it costs anything close to $50 to manufacture. It's definitely $2 worth of plastic. So uh, there's definitely knockoffs at this point. I just haven't looked into it in a really long time. But your psoas muscles are basically right here, and when they're really tight, sometimes people try to stretch them out by like leaning backwards or doing like a cobra position from the floor. And one of the ways to apply some pressure directly, help relax them, help loosen them up, is something that looks like this, sticking your pressure deep into your hip. Um, I'm explaining this with a lint roller. Okay, so please, if you're interested in learning more about your psoas, please Google it and check out some other stuff. Uh, it is a hip flexor muscle, so you do use it when we're doing hip carsy stuff. So it is relevant to your body with the workout that we're doing every day. The psoas is spelled Psoas. I hope you find some cool resources, and if you find a cool knockoff of the tool, let me know because I'm interested. All right. Water of Insight says, Water of Insight says, no, associate your brother. Oh, no, what's going on? Maybe I'm trying to repair that damage. Oh, okay, hold on. Water of Insight says, lol, 10 years ago, I fell out of a tree. Oh my gosh, from about 20 feet high. You're climbing a crazy tall tree. Um, and you're trying to repair the damage. So did you fall on that hip? Is that where your hip, uh, like, is that what made impact? Like, you just took the whole entire blow to the hip, so you're recovering from the hip damage. Oh, geez, 20 feet. That's really high. Okay, that's way outside of my level of experience or expertise and knowledge. So I'm definitely not gonna be able to answer this any better than the little tidbits I offered. And now that I know you fell out of a tree from 20 feet high, I don't know that any of the stuff that I offered is going to be that useful. Realistically, you're gonna have to find somebody with more expertise than me. It's not me. I'm sorry, but I hope you appreciated that I tried. All right, we are about 90 minutes deep into the live, and I think, oh no, oh no, the PhDs don't know any better. Well, in that case, I feel a little bit better about myself, right? I'm sorry that you've been struggling with this for 10 years. Well, I think you're a total badass for climbing trees at 42, right? You said you were 52 years old. You fell out of a tree that was 20 feet tall 10 years ago. You're climbing trees 20 feet tall into the sky at 42. That's badass, man. That's sick. I want to climb trees at 42 and not fall out of one. Anyways, I'm not going to keep digging myself into this rabbit hole. Whew. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the live. I hope you find somebody with some more expertise in repairing that deep trauma to your hip. And I hope you keep trying out lots of random things. I imagine it might be more in the realm of like doing super intense, like destructive stuff to your soft tissue so that you can break down a whole bunch of scar tissue. And then maybe things will start working out a little bit better. I can't imagine that all that trauma was easy to heal from, and that's just my best guess. So I hope that helps, and I hope you start really aggressively massaging and destroying all of your peptides, proteins, and stretching. Oof. It could very well be that stretching isn't the answer. A lot of the time, strengthening is going to be much more useful. Pulling yourself actively into position is oftentimes going to let you move better. Um, for most people, stretching and the benefits of stretching are very temporary. So when I say building strength, I mean like when you have strength to, for example, hold the side split, hang out here instead of feeling like you absolutely have to like hold yourself up off the ground, and you're able to, oh man, I rotated my hips. You're able to hang out and you're able to slowly bring your legs back together and do crazy things like that. That level of control makes it so that your muscles are actively pulling you where they want you to be, right? So like if you're training your muscles to do things a certain way, they'll actually let you do those things. When you stretch too much and only focus on stretching, you might not have enough strength to do the thing that you want to be actually doing. Are you familiar with the Russian? I have no idea what that means. No, I'm not familiar with the Russian. Is that a cool movie? Because I'm down for a cool movie recommendation. Is there anything else to that thought? I don't know, man. I'm feeling like you gotta go stabby stabby into your leg, not with a needle, but with some hardcore tissue breakdown, and see if maybe the solution is breaking down as much scar tissue and old gunk as possible. Because you fell from a tree from 20 feet up, it's gotta be messed up in there. And then you've had 10 years of living with it, so I feel like that might be it. But you're getting peptides, you're getting proteins, you're doing stuff for it. You've clearly gone to really experienced people, so I feel like what I'm offering is a pretty basic solution. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Cool. But if you got a final thought, let me know what you think or what the Russian thing is. And otherwise, I'm going to wrap up. There's still somehow 100 people on this live. Thank you for being here. Welcome. If you have never been on this live before, because this number dropped to like 90 or 80 at some point in the last 20 minutes, and now it's back at 100 something, please know that we do 45 to 60 minutes of live hip mobility and side split stretching every single day, usually not with a lint roller. I don't know why I'm fidgeting with that. And we do this every day to build consistency, to make the suffering that we put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, a little easier to stay consistent with, so that we can make a whole bunch of progress together. All right. If you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you like the idea of somebody's, a community of people practicing a whole bunch of consistency, then please hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back, and I'll see you tomorrow. Because we are live at 9 p.m. every single day, and this live has been running for about an hour and a half. So whatever time you're in, subtract an hour and a half. That is the time we start the live every single day, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week. And if you don't believe me, you can go check me out on YouTube. I upload a recording of this whole entire live every single day over on YouTube because YouTube will host it for free. And there's got to be hundreds of videos in that live. Well, actually, I was looking at it earlier. There's 620 videos in there. I make short form content, but a lot of it has to be the lives. It's got to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. So you can bet on the fact that I'm going to be here tomorrow practicing consistency with a whole bunch of other people on the internet, and you should totally, absolutely come on back. Set your alarms, put a reminder in your calendar. I don't know what else you need to come over, hit follow, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Um. Oh, oh yes. There's a very recent new YouTube video on YouTube. Now that I've mentioned it once already, I did a sumo experience over in Osaka, and it was awesome. I learned how to fly, and you should go check out that video. What else can I say without spoiling it? I learned how to fly. I had a sumo experience in Japan, so go check out that video. The YouTube channel is called Splits on the Side. It is the most recent long form video. Long form just meaning that it's like a normal YouTube video you'd want to watch this way on a laptop, on a tablet, on a TV, and check it out. Oh, yes, I'm very familiar with Pavel Tsatsouline. I don't know much about his newer stuff, his strong first stuff, but I am familiar with his older Dragon Door stuff and kettlebell stuff from a while back. At this point, must be a decade and change old. No, I probably discovered Pavel when I was like 15, so it must be like 2 decades old. Oh man, that's scary to say. Okay, cool. I am familiar with Pavel. I don't think he's Russian. I think he might be. I don't know. Never mind. I take it back. I don't have any answer. Waterman says it's outstanding. It means we're on the same page. Awesome. All right. I think that's it. We are almost 100 minutes deep into the live. Yep. I'm ready to wrap up. Thank you so much for coming in, practicing consistency, working on your side splits, water of insight. I hope you had fun. I'm glad we were able to chat and jump around on a whole bunch of different topics. And that's it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep going back. All right, I'm closing up. See you soon.